Hello, everybody, and welcome back for another episode of TFT Study Hall with your hosts. My name is Frodan.
And I'm Dishsoap.
And we are back for set 15, KO Coliseum. Apologies for missing the first patch of Laud. We're actually a little bit late to the party. And that's my fault because I was traveling over to Saudi Arabia, over to Riyadh for EWC, for the Esports World Cup with Team Vitality. But that stint is over. It's done and dusted. And Dishsoap was at home playing the box boot camp and grinding as well. You're laughing. Why are you laughing?
Oh, I mean, I stopped playing the patch. I didn't play the last week of boot camp, but
Oh.
Yeah,
okay. That explains. I saw you kind of low on the standings relative to where you usually are.
No, I just quit one weekend, seven, because I was done. It was right when Prime GP was found. I was like, okay, this shit is Prime not fun GP to play against, so I'm out.
Miami Heat, LeBron James, 2012. Gangplank, right? That's what we're talking about. The guy's just straight up dunking everyone. That patch was crazy, man. That patch was crazy. You know, really, one thing really interesting, just to take a step about reflection on set 15, is that the set feels like for the first time, this actually kind of relates to I think why Vitality may have struggled a little bit at EWC, was that every single day it felt like there was a new busted power up composition that formed, right? So at first it was all about Mentor, Mech Rise, and then a bunch of things around that. But then the new patch dropped and everyone was playing Sorcerers, and then we were playing Cassante all out, and then people were figuring out that Jhin was playable because Mundo was a complete broken 2 cost. And then people were like, oh, here's actually how you optimize Katarina. And then Gangplank dropped, and just felt like day after day after day after day there was something new, which I thought was kind of interesting. But also because everything just got increasingly more degenerate. It was oh, this was OP, but then this is even more OP, and then this is even more OP.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like this was kind of inevitable just with the set mechanic. There's just so much stuff in the game. Some interactions are bound to be just extremely powerful.
Yeah. How do you find yourself approaching the set mechanic in general? Are you greeting your fruits for the best possible stuff? Are you just playing your usual Dishsoap patented tempo style and just making do with what you got? How are you actually approaching the set mechanic right now?
I think it definitely emphasizes having super strong kind of 1v9 carries at the moment. There's not that many team effort comps, and the ones that exist are whatever. And I feel like most of the time I'm actually greeting for really good fruits. I guess not necessarily on tanks. I think those ones can be a little more interchangeable, but on most of the carries, if they're power up most of the carries have one really good power up, and the rest of them are just meh. Yeah. So I'm finding myself greeting for power up a lot.
Yeah, it feels like the step between either one or two clear best options and then missing on them is severe. And sometimes it just literally doesn't work, right? I played a game where I was actually in the very, very rare spot where I was playing a Kali and I had all out Cassante because I hit Cassante too, and I had perfect sword items for him. Mm-hmm. And I just rolled 5 times and I just couldn't get it. And I'm like, well, my con doesn't work. But I still managed to scrape together a top 4 because I ended up turning him into a tank. And then finding Lisa. But it was a really, really weird game.
Yeah.
And I feel like that kind of dynamic actually happens a lot, which causes crazy swings in people's placements. Well, don't worry. We're not going to talk too much about the previous events. Let's go ahead and just move on and immediately address our meta tier list and talk about patch 15.2. What are the biggest things and takeaways for you so far in 15.2? Either individual changes, traits, or even some of the system stuffs that we see. For example, I think they changed how power-ups work. What are 3 big things that stand out to you about this patch?
I don't even remember the patch.
There's new encounter. I can run it down for you. There's new encounters. Yeah. There's a new system around power-ups. For example, in the past, you used to be able to tailor your power-up by putting it on a similar role unit. And then there are large changes. Crystal Gamma got reworked from 4 turns to 3. And then there's some buffs and nerfs to things. Prodigy slightly nerfed, but buffed on it. Sorcerer's nerfed. And then, of course, we probably have to talk about it. The buffs to some of the 4 costs, mainly Volibear.
Yeah.
And then a bunch of other changes too, augments and power-ups. So all the Destiny augments got nerfed, for example.
Volley buff was probably the biggest change of the patch. He was kind of nowhere. You could like kind of make like previous patch, you could kind of make setups work with him if you had like a ton of spats and you high roll Braum, but like you would probably still just go top 4. Like now, he's just kind of a menace. Yeah, he just like one shots everything, and if you hit the Braum on your level 8 Rodan, it's like a guaranteed top 4, and then most likely, like if you hit like Braum and like 2-star early enough and go 9, you're in like a really prime position to win.
Yeah. So this was a composition where when you were looking at, and we're looking right now at the S tier version of Edgelord Volibear, with 4 Luchador, 4 Edgelord at least, and if you get an Edgelord emblem, you can maybe think about more. When the stats initially came out, you were saying that it looked pretty bad. Was that just because people were like building the wrong like items?
Yeah,
or I think
I think it was just people were learning the comp for the first time. For the first 2 days of the patch, it was like legit averaging a 4.7. And then I like checked a few days later. It's like, oh, people learned how to play this. Maybe they weren't playing for Luchador or whatever. Maybe they're like playing some other stuff.
Rushing 6 Edgelord and playing Yone on their board.
Yeah, something like that. And yeah, and now once people like maybe they weren't taking like the best power ups or building the best volley items, like maybe they were doing like BT Titans because they were used to playing previous sets.
Mm-hmm.
After like more people like figured it out, it became very clear that it was extremely powerful.
There is one thing about this composition that people talk about a lot right now, which is what is Volibear's best in slot? And specifically, I think people understand that the Infinity Edge Striker's Flail combination is good, maximizing your burst. But a lot of people are saying things like Edge and Knight is just bait because Luchador as a trade actually gives you a cleanse and a reset. And they say you don't need it. On the other hand, I still see some people building it. What's your take on that?
I think saying it's a bait is a bit of like it's a bit misleading. I don't think it's necessarily his best item, but I don't think that's because of Luchador devaluing the aggro drop. I think it's just because it's kind of a threshold comp, where either you're like one-shotting the backline, chaining procs, and going like insane, killing their board before they even have time to react, or you're like getting stuck on a front line and they ramp up and then they kill you, right? So in that instance, you kind of want to be maximizing as much damage as possible, and like it just gets to a point like if you're killing units fast enough that it doesn't really matter how survivable your volley is, so you're just chilling. But yeah, I don't know, like in a world where like this comp was like kind of the same power level, but like Samira was buffed and volley was nerfed, you would probably go Edge and Knight, because like Samira could do more of the damaging.
Yeah, I think with this composition too, people always like kind of underestimate how difficult it is to get the best in slot because you just need so many swords and gloves. So you look at it, it's you need something like 5 swords and 4 gloves to get like theoretical the optimal stuff. Sometimes you just have to slam whatever's available to you because yeah, you could make Deathblade or you can make Infinity Edge and something else on your Samira and actually split it and get better items that way. So it kind of depends on the situation.
Yeah, I think Pandora's is like very cracked this patch.
Yeah, to force it. I mean, we have component buffet, but maybe we just like swap that for Pandora just to help people understand.
I mean, like Pandora's 2 over like something really random on there.
Yep, makes sense. Okay, the other composition we have in S tier are like kind of like borderline situational comps, like things that basically just have insane power levels if you have the right condition for it. This Caitlyn Jace composition with Silvermere Dawn, pretty infamously, I think Soju literally has as his wallpaper, where you just all you do, and maybe I can pull up the stats here. All you do is literally type Jace Silvermere Dawn, and you just equip that to Jace. And you play a 3-star Jace and nothing else, and it literally averages into ones.
Yeah.
So, what are your thoughts on this? Is it purely a Silvermere Dawn check? Like some people play it without it and say like they have success with it, but I kind of want to hear your take on it.
Yeah, I originally thought it was only a Silvermere Dawn check, because like the problem with this comp is that like Jace 2 and Caitlyn 2 are. Okay, I think Caitlyn 2 is actually pretty decent, but Jace 2 is fucking trash. Like once you get to stage 4, like he is just pathetic. So I thought it was actually Silvermere Dawn check, but I've actually played this comp a little more. Like I've actually never hit Silvermere in my life, but I played this a handful of times so far, and I don't I'm pretty sure it's like A tier on Econ Augment or on Econ Galaxy at least.
Okay.
With no artifact. I think it's like fine. It's like really annoying to position out this comp and Akali, so you can just get some free rounds for the people scared to death of the Akali. And like if you had Jace 3, Caitlyn, you're like pretty stable. You're not really gonna win though without artifact. I played this board and I like it was like from a super high spot and I capped on like Poppy 3 and I still lost.
Wait, you hit Poppy 3 and you lost the game to Akali, right?
I lost to like Kai'Sa.
Oh, yeah. I guess the sniper.
No, it was like God cap Kai'Sa. It was like 4 Mentor and Rammus 3 and like Darius and Udyr 3 or something. I don't even know how that happened. But
let's actually talk about Kai'Sa real quick. Kai'Sa, the strongest reroll comp in the game right now, right? In the meta.
Oh yeah, we probably need to update this. I think it's like pretty well established that like it should be 4 Supreme Cell like
almost always.
Yeah, right? Basically almost always. Probably just over like the 1-star Juggernauts, at least on this board. But based on like what frontline people natural, like you can easily drop the Juggernauts for. I don't really like Rammus. I think Rammus is fucking trash. But I think 4 Mentor is okay. Just because I think Kabuki is a really good unit.
Yeah.
And then it like lets you atomize like Darius more. But the problem with that is like anyone who played GP in that one patch is like, I mean, I guess you're not really getting Rise Joe that much. No one, it's only the Akali and like the Sork players, and like they don't even want to upgrade them that much. So yeah, I think even the Juggernaut version there, we probably should add the Mentor version and then make sure they're both, for Supreme Cell.
Yeah. There's a 4 Supreme Cell version, and then there's some people used to play like Protectors or whatever, but I think regardless of it, you're supposed to just play 4 Supreme Cell always. And some of the triggers for Kai'Sa, not just of course playing for some artifacts, but a lot of people going for like the scaling stuff, right? Over 9,000 on Kai'Sa is particularly really, really powerful. To get that stuff.
Over 9k, like just in general on any unit that can use mana is like really broken because it can give you mana regen, and I think it gives you like more mana regen than it should or something. But also just like giving base mana regen to a unit is just like really powerful. Like some like over 9k gives you like a certain stat every single round, and sometimes it can roll mana regen. And if it rolls like mana, it's like the most powerful one. It's like the reason this augment's good.
Oh yeah. I see what you're saying. Because it's also really good on Smolder, for example. For that very reason, you can get mana regen. You get 5 mana regen. All of a sudden, you're like, wow, actually, I just have like the ability to spam cast.
Yeah, if you get to like on Katarina, for example, or Kai'Sa, because they have Shojin. Both Shojin and Hodge have like 2 base mana regen. If you get to the 8 mana regen range from just over 9k, you're sitting at 10 mana regen, which is like minus an auto on every single ult, which is extremely powerful.
Yeah, I've seen that happen with a lot of it. So it's interesting that you brought it to the mana gen portion of it, because with Katarina, she's definitely fallen. Is she like the second best? Because it feels like a lot of these other reroll comps are just very situational, but it's still like the same thing, right? The over 9,000 Katarina, just getting the mana gen, getting her snowballing.
I think this comp is kind of only worth playing with over 9k. It is kind of.
You take off these ones then. Don't even play with anything else.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think if you like have like obviously like a really good base Katarina spot, like, or open or whatever.
Yeah.
You can probably make something like the Dark Amulet build work. But I probably would. I would expect your placement to be in like the 3 to 6 range on like the lower range of that.
Vietnam plays Fusion Dance Katarina sometimes because it was like giving too much AP.
They fixed that though.
Did they? Okay, I was told that they didn't fix that, but maybe they did.
Oh, I thought they fixed that.
Either way, if they did, then my bad. Okay, let's talk about some of the other comps. I guess we might as well just go through the other big comp. Everyone says that yes, Silvermere Jace is OP. Yeah, if you get stuff from Crystal Gambit, it actually wins out. But they actually all say that it's a 2 comp meta. They say it's Volibear with Edgelords, or it's Akali, and right now people are playing Protectors with her. So I guess you always build like the scaling stuff. You go Rageblade, Archangels, and we figured out that it's not Edge of Night, it's Shojin on her to help get the mana gen to help her cast, because she's invulnerable when she's casting, right? So she can like make spells fizzle, she drops aggression, and then you pair that with Crimson Veil, which is a power up that gives her the ability to overheal and shield to keep very safe, so she can't get bursted down. And then you have Akali basically going infinite every single fight. So talk to me about this composition, and then we're gonna get into the second segment, which is how to beat Akali, because everyone's gonna want to know how to play around Akali.
Yeah, I've played this a fair amount. I think it's like definitely like really strong, but it has like I think it has like pretty substantial weaknesses, that like kind of prevent it from like taking over. But yeah, I think part of the power of this board is like you could just win some fights that you have like no business winning. Like, you can beat boards that are like stronger than yours on paper if you just like kill their carry in like a reasonable amount of time, which is like super powerful for like getting placements. And yeah, and like even if you like lose a fight with this comp, it's never going to be a bad loss, which is nice.
Right. Which is also really frustrating if you're not playing against Akali, because the other people in the lobby are not going to take bad losses a lot of times.
Yeah.
So like they end up like it's because you like look at the HP lobby in this meta and everyone's losing by 1 unit because of like the Akali, and it's just like really annoying to deal with.
Yeah. Trying to like think of like more to say about this comp. I think
some people are surmising that you don't actually want to play 6 protector, and kind of like Kaisa, you want to play more supreme cells and you can flex around that. Do you agree or disagree with that?
I haven't like gotten around to see that. I wouldn't be surprised, but like to me it just doesn't really make sense. I think it makes sense if you're like already playing around Darius or Kaisa, and then you get like the really good Akali duo carry set up. Like that's obviously very powerful. I don't think you want to go at it the reverse way. It's like you're playing towards Akali, but then you play like a Darius 2 or a Kaisa 2 duo carry. It's like I don't know. Like maybe if you like tempoed really really hard around Kaisa, but you maybe weren't in the spot to reroll, or you're like contested or something, that can be a way to get out. But I don't think on like your level 8 Frodan you're really looking to like play 4 Supreme Cell with like a Darius. But I could be wrong. I've definitely been wrong on that before. I've like tried playing this. You drop 2 Protector for like Varus +1 on level 8, and then level 9 you can get like another +1. Usually it's gonna be Jarvan or Lee Sin for an extra Executioner. I don't know. I've had like mixed results with it. I've kind of just taken to the point where I'll just put the Varus items on Vryze or Janna, and then go 9 for the Varus, and like not play the Jarvan and the Lee Sin, because they just don't really do that much. And like you really just only need the Akali if you have the Archangel scaling, and then like maybe Varus to like help poke down the backline. I really haven't felt like the Lee or the Jarvan really did that much for me.
Yeah, I mean I have seen Executioner Lee do well, but it kind of feels like Varus is safer and more reliable to get the damage out, because sometimes Lee just trolls. Okay, so now let's go into a side. We're not done with the meta just yet, but Dishsoap, please tell everyone, how are we beating Akali? Everyone says, what is the anti-Akali positioning? And I think it's driving them crazy. So I'm gonna put as many chain dumps as you want. Okay. And just tell so how what is the most basic way to beat Akali?
The most basic way is like it's like you want your tank in the middle, and then you want your tank on one of the edges, and then you're carrying the corner. And very specifically, you don't want any frontline units in A5 or A6, because the reason is we're trying to make their Akali walk up and then get out of range to hit or carry. Like you want the Akali to walk forward and get on your team. Right. And then this way, if you have like a unit in the like a middle, like a D4 or whatever, like it'll go there instead, which is what you want. Or if the Akali walks up there, you want it like 1 to the left or whatever. But like this is the baseline. The thing is, this one is like actually decently counterable. If they put their Akali like third or if they put their Akali second row, and then have like another tank there, and it like walks up behind the tank or something. I think you it's kind of hard without a mirrored board to explain it.
Yeah, we can use the Tactics Tools board. You're talking about like the full board here. Okay, so let's do this one. Sorry, TFTAcademy, we had to do it. So you're saying this. let's put Ash here in the corner.
Mhm.
And let's have Akali here. So you're saying, I know what you're talking about. You're saying if they tank, let's just put Kennen here as an example. And they have Akali, is it back one here?
Yeah, I believe it's. Oh fuck! I forgot exactly what it was, but it's something like this. You basically want the Akali to end up in the hex you're kind of mousing over. But I'm stupid. But there's like definitely a way to do this. Maybe you wait. I think it might be you don't put the right cannon anywhere. Yeah. I think it might be this. Yeah, it's just this.
Okay.
And then like your tank ends up walking up, and then the Akali meets the tank in the middle, and then it hits your corner.
Like this.
Yeah. This is what you want.
Right.
Which is like
1, 2, 3, 4 hexes. And you have to remember the reason why this works is because Akali dashes the farthest target within 4 hexes. But part of it feels like there's something that people don't understand, which is that just because something says it's 4 hexes away doesn't mean that it's equidistant to another 4 hexes away. There's actually like a true 4 hexes, and then there's like a kind of 4 hexes, which is like really weird if you don't know what I'm talking about. But basically, some hexes are actually farther away. They're like farther 4 hexes away than others. So she'll always go for the farthest away, which is why she'll always hit here.
Yeah. So like most Akali players won't, like, especially if you're quick swapping to anti Akali, most Akali players won't really do this unless they're like preempting it, or they've like seen you do this in like the past rounds. So usually corner or tank middle, tank right, will get you out of like 95% of Akali players' ranges. But if they know what they're doing, they like can pretty reliably counter it if you're like telegraphing it. Yeah. I think the one that's like harder to counter with Akali specifically is the one where you put it in the third row left cubby. If you have enough backline baits and other hexes, it kind of just will never go on the cubby first unless you do like some like really weird stuff that I don't even understand how.
Yeah. I was told to do something like this. Yes. Basically.
But the problem with this one compared to the previous one we showed is that your carry is not in the corner, which matters a lot for every other matchup in the game.
Right.
Your carry is just more exposed. Like I've had this, and then I go against a Karma player. It's like, oh shit, my thing is getting Karma ulted 3 seconds into the fight, or Kaisa ulted 3 seconds into the fight,
which is like kills it immediately.
Yeah. So like that's a significant problem with this one, but I think it is like more like versus Akali specifically. I think this is safer than the other one, but it only is if like you're going against like some turbo sweats.
I went up against someone today that played Volibear and Akali in the same comp. And then they had Spectral Cutlass on the Volibear. And it was, I just gotta tell you, man, it was such a headache to go up against because they had the Volibear TPs in the back and then trying to get the jump and then Akali jumping on everything as well. I somehow positioned one fight perfectly for it because I think I predicted how it would go. But like every other fight afterwards did not go well. So it was a nightmare to deal with. Okay, so that is the brief ways you can counter Akali. There's one more that I heard that I didn't hear you bring up. Is you can go like full left and full right, kind of exactly what we showed with the Caitlyn positioning.
Like this is kind of the same concept as like middle left and right as well. Just like more pronounced. I guess this like counters the counter, but like this positioning is even like more scuffed than like putting your carry in the cubby unless you're like specifically doing like Caitlyn things to snipe. Because for example, I've done this. Like this is like the unstoppable magnet. You're like if they have unstoppable, it's like very easy for them to just torpedo their tank into your backline.
Yes, like this is how Ken, like this is the tank. So this is exactly how they get here, and then they take out Ash 80% of the HP and they just die. So there's that, and also there's a counter to this as well for the Akali player. Akali can just position here.
Oh yeah,
and then she'll just get to the Ash because there's no. It's a clean 4 hexes right here, and the only way you can hope to do is like maybe Akali smashes here, but like even then it's not great. So it's actually, this is exactly why a lot of people are basically saying that this comp is problematic. It just feels like there's so many ways. Like it's almost like assassins are back, right? Assassins like force you into sort of this rock paper scissors positioning dynamic that kind of frustrates a lot of players. if I'm better against Akali, I'm worse against everything else. But then at the same time, if I don't position around Akali, I just get cheesed and I only have 2 lives. So that kind of dynamic, I think, is what's really driving people up a wall right now. But hopefully some of these countermeasure tools can give you guys some actual ways to play around it. Because I personally believe that, and this actually is going to go into one of our first factor fraud statements, that Akali actually is actually not that big of a deal if you position around her. It's just more about everything else in the current meta that's also like being problematic as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's briefly just talk about some other comps here. Met Karma Sorcerers. I heard some people say some wild stuff. They said Sorcs are just like not good. You shouldn't really play it. It just loses to like Volibear and stuff like that. I've had pretty okay results with Sorcs personally.
Yeah,
I'm curious what you think.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like people are like really polarized around this comp for like no reason. I think it's just like an okay comp that you can play if you have like a Lucian opener with good items. I think like saying it's unplayable is like kind of crazy because like it's like usually like really uncontested on the rolldown, and like Karma can kill stuff. Like Karma can kill Akali. It's like kind of hard to kill volley, but if you get like a good Jarvan stun, and then you have like if you get lucky and like Wind pops the Luchador, like the Karma can still win. Maybe not against Cap Volley, but like you can win fights for sure. I've like won games with Sorcs this patch. I've like top forward with it a few other times. It's never really felt horrible. But like some of the like I'm not really sure exactly why people are like saying it's trash. Like maybe they're like pivoting into it or something, or like
it's I think people like one, I think people were just getting caught by Akali, and I think two, because people were doing things like frontlining Rise 1, it like made it really easy for Volibear to just do the thing where he just like smashes, and I think people were just kind of playing at default and sort of not really adapting to how the meta was very hostile towards its front line.
Yeah, I think this comp's fine. Not gonna be like a meta breaker, and you probably can't play you like maybe they're like used to like the old Sorcs where you could kind of like it was so powerful that you could play it from like a variety of different spots. I think now it's like pretty specific, like, oh, you are gonna need like pretty close to Bis Karma, and with like an opener where you don't have like all 1-stars later.
Yeah. The like the Lucian 2 opener and like easy way to bridge into that. It makes sense. Okay, and then finally we have Juggernaut Ashe, which is actually people were saying like whether or not it's actually double Rageblade versus double Kraken, but either way, you just play Rageblade Kraken +1. You can justify a bunch of different things, and you just play a 6 Juggernaut composition. They buffed Ashe, and a lot of people were saying that this was one of the best comps at the beginning of the patch. But then since the Volibear and Akali surfaced up, people are saying it just struggles a lot with Akali, I think is what people were saying mostly, because it feels like you can try to do the anti-Akali positioning, but you don't ramp up fast enough to take out Akali, and then once you force Ashe to walk up, you're kind of in trouble. Has that been your experience with this comp?
I think it's like closer to I think you could definitely win the matchup as Ashe. Like if you just have like a super strong Ashe board, you're just gonna, like and you don't get a call instantly, you're gonna ramp up to the point where you can just one shot it. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't say this matchup's unwinnable. I think like on the level 8 version of the board without like the 5 costs, that's probably true. Like you're probably hopeless against the Kale. But if you go 9, you get like the Brahmin, or if you get like super lucky and you play around like TF duo carry with this as well, and you get like Lee Sin, like maybe like Lee Sin duo carry.
It's basically this comp, but just play Ashe on top of it.
Yeah. like if you get to that setup, it's like the Ashe can definitely win. Like you get to a point where you just ramp up and then you kill the Akali before it can even dash. As to like the Rageblade versus Kraken, I think if you could teleport to late game and choose the build, I actually think double Kraken is better. But double Gensu is probably like significantly better for like probably up until like stage 5.
It's what the stats say is like better, but it's not like either are fine.
Yeah, I mean, you could say it's better, but it's like almost like identical. And
yeah,
I think the difference with that is like the early game power.
People are saying that this is like a flicker blade check. I don't know if that's true. I think if you just play like a Gnar tempo, like if you have a Gnar 2 Mundo 2 opener, you can play this perfectly fine if you have like the items for it.
Yeah, I don't think you need flicker blade. It's certainly very strong, along with like Radiant too. But
yeah. All right, so that's most of like that covers like the most popular comps. I usually ask you, what is like your sleeper comp or like an underrated comp that's been working for you, either in the situational or anything in the B and C, because we could be spending a lot of time talking about it. But I'm curious what you would like pick out of the field here.
I will say, I mean, we already talked about this. I do think Sparks is like kind of underrated by like just the
Orcs
general.
are underrated?
Yeah, they are for
Okay,
sure.
okay.
Like people are like saying it's like fucking trash. It's not unplayable, man. But also I think this people are sleeping on this Xin Zhao unit.
Xin Zhao.
Yeah, Xin Zhao.
Okay.
I don't. The problem is like I feel like there isn't like that good of a comp to abuse him yet. I added like the Bastion Smolder.
Yeah, Smolder.
And the problem is Zaya's DPS is just too low, but like this no this unit's actually a menace. I wanted Soju to test this live for me because I like heard it was like maybe okay, and he trolled so fucking hard. He like didn't like he like skipped like 8 Xin Zhaos, and then like I had to go back and like 3-star later, and he like capped around like Ryze 1 Jarvan 1 instead of Braum and Gwen. But he still even won the game. Like with that.
Was it over 9,000 Smolder?
No. I mean, it was a really good setup. It was like efficient plus like Radiant item.
Okay, that's still really good. Yeah.
And like he hit like game, but like the Xin Zhao was basically unkillable when it was 3-star, and he had like Sterak. He had like Sterak's Eva Trout as well.
So like not even real tank items.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
But
so this has potential, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I just think the unit itself is good, but like he just needs like don't just wait for a future patch, man. People will be bitching for this unit again if I'm serious.
Yeah, Xin Zhao's actually a good unit.
Like he's actually Mundo level, but the problem is he doesn't come with an R.
Yeah, and also because like the way people are rerolling Xin Zhao right now, which is not a real comp, is Lux, and it's not very reliable at the moment. Okay, we probably could put that in the tier list though, but just a spoiler, that probably is in C tier. It's funny that you picked it out because my pick is actually 2 spots to the right, which is I actually won a game today with Kog'Maw with the artifact.
No,
and I played Encore Kog'Maw. I don't think Kog'Maw is playable actually without artifact. I mean, we do technically have this, but you know, you can pick your litter with it. And I was actually really impressed because I went through the whole gauntlet. I went through 2 Volibear players, 2 Akali players, a Cap Sorks board, and everything like that, and like a crew board. So I felt like I was actually very surprised. The thing is, I felt like I was going 8th the entire time, man. Like I felt like I was going 8th until, and then I finally hit like the
level 30, like level 30 cog or whatever.
Yeah, level 30 Kog'Maw, where you get full range, and that full range actually is really funny because Volibear like jumps away, and theoretically that's supposed to be out of range for the units, but Kog'Maw tracks him. Samira dashes in, he locks onto Samira. Samira dashes back to her backline. He kills the Samira. So the infinite range actually kind of cooks a little bit against some of these like assassin type stuff.
Yeah, I guess I see the vision of that popping off, but like the problem is I just think this. I've just never seen it ever work in like ever. So
I was surprised because the thing is, look, I have to tell you my items, man. I had Rageblade, Archangel's Dawncore, and the amount of times I saw people say, "Is this not just a Kali? You're playing Protected. Is this not a Kali? Is this not a Kali?" And I was like, "Yes, just let me try it, man. Like, I just let me try it." And I was like, "Just trust the process." But I didn't. Another problem that I ran into is I actually don't know what is the best power up for Kog'Maw either. I tried so many different things, and none of them felt like amazing for it as well. So I think it's just like underexplored, but that was why I picked it as a sleeper, because I wasn't sure how to optimize it all.
Bro, it's actually so annoying when you're like on purposely like trying something that like I mean like no shit, this guy knows how to play a Kali, man. Like he just wants to try Kog'Maw. Like I don't get it.
Yeah.
And then they're the same ones like saying bench when you like don't take Golden Egg or whatever.
yeah. Or aura farming, which I did take afterwards, and I went 8th. So yeah, don't take aura farming. Moral of the story. Okay, that wraps up our meta section. Let's go into fact or fraud. Okay, fact or fraud. I threw out a statement. I asked Dishsoap, is that fact or is that fraud? Basic agree or disagree section. So let's start off with the first one. This one's pretty easy. Despite the gold nerfs, Destiny augments are still OP, and and should be clicked on almost every time. People are saying the gold is still really good. It's Destiny. You should just be clicking it. Just so, what do you think? They took a few gold off of everything: silver, gold, and prismatic.
I think I've skipped silver Destiny once this patch. But okay, so before I would just click it without rerolling the augments, and now I reroll the other augments at least. That's what I'll say. But I am like clicking it like 99% of the time still.
At 2-1, right?
Yeah.
Did it change at 3-2 for some of these?
You probably can skip silver at 3-2 now.
Okay.
If like there's something reasonable. Because like silver specifically has like some troll ones at 3-2. But
yeah.
I mean, gold 3-2 is not bad. I would maybe skip gold 3-2 if I had crystal in, because the crystal gambit trade augment is like, I think is actually basically pressing the FF button.
The diamond hands one.
Yeah. That one, like, you're basically just FFing if you click that, like unironically. Yeah, that's about it. I think you can and probably should click. Like, okay, I think you should like roll the other options, because like, for example, like if you're playing Volibear, you and you get like a prismatic 3-2, you probably want the option. You at least want to know if you're hitting like the 5 sword augment. Like, that augment's like really good in volley. So like, you're probably taking that over prismatic Destiny 3-2 at least.
Wait, which augment?
Sword overflow, I think that's what it's called.
Oh, sorry, the 5 sword augment.
Yeah. So I think now at least you want to look at your options, but previously you would just click it without rolling.
Yeah, because it was just auto pick every single time.
Yeah.
For better or for worse. Okay.
Yeah,
Chat, some people say it's wrong, but
sorry.
Trust me, guys, Destinies are still really good. And you might, again, it might be subtle, right? But today, my last game, I think you were actually in chat during that moment, but I clicked gold Destiny and I got calculated loss, and someone else took calculated loss, but I had so much more gold than that guy just because I was able to make interest that much quicker than him. And that 4 gold accelerated me, and I rolled and I hit the board way faster. And that guy went like 7th, 8th. I should have top 4, but my Volibear bugged out the last second. But either way, the gold difference is really profound, even with that. Even though we had the exact same setup.
Yeah, I had a game like where you would say this is like the downside of taking Destiny. I had a game. It was a like Scuttle Puddle, and I clicked gold Destiny, and then I got a Hustler, the one that like you can't get econ on Scuttle Puddle. And I was like, oh shit, this fucking sucks. But then I realized like the extra 4 gold was the difference between me going like level 6 on. I forgot when it was either like 2-3 or like 2-5, but it was like a 4 gold diff, for me to go level 6, and then I don't know, I like just 10 streaked, and then it was like, nice. And then I went second. So I mean, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty subtle, but it's very profound. Okay, statement number 2. Akali's not that big of a problem once you learn how to position around her. Some people are, that's how people retort when people say Akali is really, really OP.
It depends on what you define as how like a big of a problem, because you can still lose to Akali even if you're doing anti-Akali, just because the comp like can scale, and if you don't have a way to like match the scaling or like burst it down, you're like, you can still lose. But it definitely it definitely makes the matchup a lot more playable. And yeah, basically like it doesn't make these like solo backline carries like an insta loss, as some people say. Mm-hmm. But I don't think it like negates Akali's effectiveness at all. I think it just makes like, it's the reason why Akali's an A tier, not S tier, because there is counterplay, I guess.
Boom, there it is. Okay, and then state number 3, the class systems of fighters versus tanks versus casters versus marksmen for mana generation needs to be reworked yet again, because it's making weird things happen, like fighters want Rageblade. That factor fraud.
Yeah, but I don't really know what the solution is. I think they're just gonna increase the meta on some of these fighters, but I don't know if that is like the best long term. I think the more I think maybe they have to like give less mana on auto or something. I don't even know.
Ooh, like, that's really big.
Like less mana auto, but like maybe with like smaller mana flows or something like really weird. I don't know. I'm not a game designer, but I feel like Rageblade should not be Bis Akali. That just sounds wrong, man.
It's also Bis on like a lot of the hero augments and other things. Like, it just feels like non-intuitive. Like, it's weird that Rageblade is Malphite's best item.
Yeah, because it doesn't actually matter how like what your attack speed is, which has not been the truth for Ginsu for like 5 years.
Well, the TFT devs have actually said in the past that they do find it problematic that attack speed is such a powerful stat because of the way it interacts with auto attacks and the way it generates mana, even and the way it scales fights. So it's like one of those things where Rageblade is once again a problem. They try to rework Rageblade to try to be to not have stacking problems, right? Because double Rageblade builds are really obnoxious. But they also have a new can of worms they have to solve. So.
I mean, I actually don't think Rageblade is much of a problem on like the backliners. Like it's good on Ashe, but that's only because Ashe is like some like ungodly AS scaling, that like it's like some of the best AS scaling like a backliner has ever had, which is kind of what they have to do for like this Rageblade now because it doesn't actually like scale off itself anymore for these units.
Yeah.
But it kind of just means that the Rageblade item is just like broken on like the units you would never expect, like the casters and the it's like some casters and some melees. It's like
I don't know. I can get behind that. And on top of that, I think like it compounds in the radiant versions of them alongside power ups. It just makes it too crazy, man. The power level of this set is really, really high. Okay, that's our Factor Fraud. Let's move into our second to last big segment, which is the pop quiz. Okay, every episode we do it. We're gonna drop some trivia questions about stats related for Dishsoap. Dishsoap's actually been like kind of cooling off on like memorizing all the stats these days, kind of going a little bit more intuitive. Is that still true?
I mean, yeah. I feel like there's too much like too many. I'll just say it, like there's too many like noobs like making the stats fake.
Whoa, so, you don't even trust the data anymore. Is what
I mean, yeah, kind
of. Wow. He's talking about you guys, not me.
Like back in the day, I would just look at stats and be like, oh yeah, this broken. But now I have to like look at the stats and like see a game of it, and then I'll be like, okay, it's broken because I like slotting game as well.
We have people who are like because the thing is, when I was doing the Vitality Bootcamp and I would bring up some stats, they would say, okay, but did you filter by this rank and this stuff? And I was like, yes. And then now people are starting to add an additional layer of filter. They're like, what region did you sort this data by? Did you filter out LATAM?
Yeah,
did you filter out like Korea?
Yeah, and they think they think they're being like very, very like in depth about this, but then they show up with like a 150 game sample size to be like, oh, see, like that, like.
It's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. Okay, don't worry. These, I mean, some questions are. I think this is like on the average size, not too hard.
Yeah.
Okay, this first question might actually be one of the harder ones, but I'm giving you some leeway. What is the AVP, the average placement of the augment? Heavy is the crown.
Oh,
and I'll give you a 10th delta on either way. So if you miss it by 0.1, I think it's fine.
I probably should know this because this is one of the augments you can actually check the stats of because it's an item in the game. God, I can't imagine the AVP is good. I think the augment actually like does have its place in the meta, like if you know how to play around it. But especially with like Akali being a thing, and then I don't really trust the average player to like position safe, or whatever. So I actually suspect this is quite bad, but I do think like the augment's actually decent. I'm gonna guess it's like a 4.8. 4.8.
It's a 4.65. You know what? I'm going to accept that one. That's pretty good. That's pretty good, man. Not bad. Yeah, 4.65. And I thought it was like one of those things where, yeah, you always think you're like, is it actually bad in this minute? Because people just get caught by Akali. But, and just for reference, I'm sorting by Diamond Plus because there's not enough sample size for Master. So, yeah, okay, yeah, not bad.
Like, I think specifically on like Gnar opener, like you with like Edge Knight as well. I think you probably really want to be building Edge Knight with his item. Gnar Edge Knight into I mean Loki is like strong enough to fast 9, but even if you're not fast 9, you could like put on Ashe. I actually think people put it on Akali. I don't know how good that is, but because the thing is I think you have to like get like the backline stats and then you get like positioning like in the second row. It's like I don't know about that. But I've kind of had success fast 9ing and like putting it on TF. So
okay. Interesting. I haven't tried it on TF.
It's like notorious,
Mundo, right?
Oh yeah, Mundo. I've seen it on Kale,
but I mean, Kale feels like just really hard to pull off.
Yeah. Kale Nada is like I don't really know. I do want to try it on Akali. I saw someone put it on Akali, but it was like they were putting it in the front line, and that doesn't seem correct to me. Actually, I'm just gonna check this.
Archangels, right?
I'm just gonna check the stats on Okay, it's a 4.66 on Akali.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if people are playing it correctly, right?
Yeah, they might be putting in the backline. You're right.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll try. I that's something I do want to try eventually.
All right. Question number 2. Who is the best holder of Suspicious Trenchcoat?
Oh, I know. Unfortunately for you, I actually know this one. It's Caitlyn.
Oh, wait, how do you know?
Kyun told me.
Oh, okay.
He knows the KR meme text, but I don't even know if this one's a meme. I want to try it though. But
okay, explain the interaction though.
So it's kind of just bug abusing. It's not even like some like funny interaction. It's just straight up bug abusing because if you have Shadow Clone with Trenchcoat, when the Shadow Clone unit dies, the Trenchcoats that it spawned like doesn't have the Shadow Clone debuff. They do full damage. So if you have Shadow Clone Caitlyn and then you frontline both of the Trenchcoat units with like, do you need like double Vow or is it like Vow Edge of Night? Like what's
I saw only Vow Edge of Night.
But... Okay, Vow Edge of Night. So what happens is they both die and then they spawn basically six real Caitlyns, and then it's like even if they're like frontline 6 real Caitlyn's, it's like 6 Caitlyn 3s that are full
just
power
and they just kills everything.
Yeah, just shoot and it kills everything. Like I mean that can't be bad.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I don't really know if it's like a funny, like it's just kind of bug abuse. Like it doesn't. It's I don't think it's supposed to work that way with Shadow Clone, but that's how it works. And apparently it's strong. I want to try it. I haven't gotten Trenchcoat yet.
You can get it for the tuber at least, or maybe for the duck video. Boom. Okay. Question number 3. Nico Hero Augment. That is like considered to be one of the worst augments in the game, or one of the worst hero augments in it. What is the best in slot on Nico?
You mentioned this in the channel earlier, but I forgot. I think you said something about like how people play the augment wrong, and it's supposed to be like 6 protectors, and you need like Edge of Night and 3 Archangels. So is it Edge of Night double Archangel? Is that the build, and then you like dual carry Janna, or is like double Archangel on Janna and then some other like trash somewhere else? I don't. I'm just gonna like you literally told me this, so I'm just gonna guess it's Edge of Night double Archangel.
It's basically it. You basically want Archangels ramping, and you want Edge of Night on her.
Bro, you basically told me the answer.
Really good. Well, I'm just trying to see if you're paying attention. Like how else were you supposed to know? I feel like you would never actually look up the stat because you really won't click that.
Oh yeah, I mean I never look, but I'll read. I read what you put in that channel at least.
The most important thing is people have to stop building like the BT Titan stuff.
Okay.
Like you need to not. And it's Archangels. Edge of Night +1. Basically, you can.
I will continue not clicking that augment though.
Okay, there are 5 artifacts that are phenomenal on Kog'Maw in particular. Can you name all of them?
Dawncore, Lichbane, Shiv, Flickerblade. I know those 4. The last one, it's either Zhonya's or Wits. Like you would think it's Wits, but I think it might not be Wits, just because I think they kind of like rebalance that item to be like more of like a melee item, because he gives like a ton of defensive stats. So I think it might be Zhonya's as the 5th and not Wits End, but I could be wrong.
So according to what I looked at, you were very close, except Lichbane is not.
No, it's not
actually.
Okay.
it's actually not a good item on him at all. I think I have it right here.
I might be stupid. I seen it. I seen that with Shadow Clone do decent, but
it was Flickerblade, Static Shift, Dawncore, Zonia. You actually named 6 of them, and then 5 of them were right. But Lichbane is the one that's odd out. I'm not sure why Lichbane was so bad. I thought it was
whatever. I mean, maybe the item just sucks. Who knows?
Maybe just item just sucks. Okay, all good. Okay, and then finally, the last question is. Oh wait, I think I only had 4 questions. You know what? I did 4 questions this week. You got 3 out of 4 of them.
Yay!
Good job. Can we get people clapping chat for Dishsoap? I mean, he nailed it. That's actually your best performance in quite some time. Let's wrap this up with our last big section of this, and this is something that we wanted to do. Usually, I do this for the meta tier list, but or for the meta read for our website. If you guys know, that's a Patreon. But I figured because we're kind of deep into the patch and we kind of owe this as well, let's just do an opener's tier list with all the units. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this SABDC with our tier list maker on our website. And this is actually a really nifty tool if you ever want to just like, build your own tier list, drop augments, items. You can combine it all, right? You can do items plus like an augment plus like a champion. And then it's turned into an ad.
Okay. Like no glaze. Like this isn't even an ad. Like this tier list maker is like actually like insane.
Right.
Like it's like really good. Like all these like Twitter guides that you see are using this tier list because it just tier list maker because it's like so easy and so good.
Right. So you can just like do this kind of stuff. Anyways, you're totally right. We should definitely enhance it. I want to be able to also upload like maybe your own pictures of stuff so you can like do other things too.
Yeah.
Pretty fun. Anyways, let's just do an SABD. So I'm gonna go ahead and just say a unit, and you just tell me where to drop it, and maybe add a quick explanation why. So Aatrox, and we're talking about you get this on stage 1 openers in your shops, either through orbs, and your likelihood of keeping them and trying to play around them.
I think Aatrox is fine. He pairs into like Gnar and Mech opener because it pairs with Mundo for Juggernaut. It's really easy to fit into heavyweight, and he also pairs in with like Volution Mech opener. But he's not really like the star of those openers, and like 2-star is like not like that insane. So I put an A and not S, but this is definitely a unit you want to hold. Ezreal's like an always hold if you have AP. Not like, I mean, he does have the duo scaling, but like you don't really want to be playing Ezreal Syndra opener into AD. That doesn't really make sense. Like he can like technically hold AD items, so like you can say like, oh, you can't hold him with AD items, but like you probably shouldn't be buying them if you're playing like the Syndra stuff. But if you do have AP, I do think the Ezreal Syndra Garen Rel opener is like usually the best AP opener, so I'll put him in S. Just because you have to hold him if you have AP. Garen is you're only holding Garen if you have the Ezreal and the Syndra, so he's like A. He's not good otherwise. Gnar is S. He like if you get Gnar Mundo, that's like one of like the
best opener spirit.
Yeah. Like it's the best opener for Rage Blade, and it's the best opener for like the IE Guardbreaker volley setup. Yeah. Kalissa's okay. She's and I wouldn't really say she's okay. She can go into the volley opener as well. She can hold the crit items, and then you play around Neferi with like the Muno, and then like you might get the Gnar. And later, if you didn't have like Gnar 2, you had like Kalista 2, for example. I think this one's like very, very tied to Neferi 2. If I don't really have Neferi 2, I'm not really that interested in buying this unit, so I'll put in like it's like low B, high C. Let's put her in C. Okay. But if you do have Neferi 2, you should click on her. Neferi 2 with crit items. Kayle, I think this unit like. There's not really that much, like, opener-wise, there's not really that much of a reason to click this unit outside of, like, you wanted to, like, hedge towards Kayle reroll, and I think after that got nerfed, it's not really worth holding. I think, like, this is probably, like, the lowest prio hold right now, so I'll put it in D. Cannon's decent. Like, as a unit, you kind of want 3 cannons if you're playing Akali, and, like, just the 2 Protector Malphite stuff is okay. The problem with Protector for me is that I don't think it scales well into Stage 3 for, like, flex openers, but you do actually want to hold all of the stuff if you are interested in playing Akali. So like if you see you get like a Rod teardrop or something, you're definitely going to be like pretty high prio on the Protector stuff, and like he pairs with Lucian really well, and he's just kind of a good unit. And if you get like a Kai setup wherever, you're definitely going to want to hold him for that. So I'll put him in A, like low A though. Lucian kind of same way. After I think after especially GP nerf and Sork nerf, like he's still good. It's just he kind of like puts you in weird spots, and I don't think he's like that broken on his own. I think like the thing is he can be an item holder for Akali, which is nice because he does pair with like the cannon and the Protector line specifically, and often you're not gonna have Janna too if you're gonna want to itemize Janna. So he probably deserves A, but I think specifically after like the GP nerf, like his prio went down a lot because like the mech and like the Sork nerf. So you could argue he's like a B tier hold, but whatever. I'll just put him in A. Neferi is just like a really, really good unit for like the volley opener mainly. So I think he kind of just deserves that. So like I think you should like basically always be wanting to play a Neferi 2 on your board. Just that strong of a unit. In the early game, like definitely a really good power up holder. If you get solo leveling with it, it's like insane.
Oh yeah.
Rel is basically
good for the Dishsoap.
Yeah. Rel is basically the same as Garen, but I think Rel is like much stronger than Garen. But you just put it like right above there. It's fine. Sivir's trash. Like, I don't know if she's the only reason you hold her is to like hedge for crew. Like as a unit herself, she doesn't really get any merit. Even with like Gnar being like that good of an over, you don't even need sniper. You just need like frontline. Apparently we see a Malphite, but I think Sivir is like D tier. Like I think holding this unit's like trolling. Unless you're like hedging crew. Malphite is like kind of the same way. Like I think you're really only gonna want to hold him if you're like hedging crew or like Akali. Like the thing is like baseline he is a good unit, but I think like he himself is a good unit, but I just don't like playing around Protector that much in the mid game. So I mean, he's a good unit. He's like really strong stage 2. Oh, you can put Okay, can you move maybe move Lucian down? Can you move Lucian down? Yeah, maybe you can move Lucian down, and then the Malphite. Yeah, I think this is a good separation. Yeah, Syndra's like probably the most prio hold in the game because she can hold like Rage Raid really well as well, and she's like Crystal if you want to play that. I mean, Crystal opener is not that good, but I mean, I'd probably put Ezra like the bottom of S. Like usually this opener you want to play Syndra in the AP, but she can even hold the other stuff. And then Zac is like something you hold Zac pairs. Like Zac is kind of as strong as Malphite, I'd say, in the early game, but then you don't really want to be playing him later on. So yeah, probably around there.
Okay, great. Okay, so those are the 1 costs, and we do some 2 costs. Do you want a breather, or do you want to just like roll into?
No, I can do this all day.
Okay. Dr. Mundo.
Mundo's S. He's like arguably stronger than set 2 sometimes with Luchador in.
Yeah.
And just like you can even play multiple Mundos on like Mundo 1s on your Gnar board just because the Luchador Brock is so valuable. It's really, really good. GP, even after like you nerfed him and he's a shitty unit, but I think he serves one like very important purpose in the opener is if you have a complete dog shit trash opener, you can't do nothing. You might as well play him and try to kill 1 unit and farm a gold. So I don't think you should skip him because he's like bad. I think you I still think he's A tier because on trash openers he can still farm like some gold sometimes. So like I don't think you should really be selling him unless it's for like something like pretty important. Janna, she's Crystal, but I think the value of early Crystal has gone down significantly after the nerf. Like I don't know if you've played 2-1 Crystal, that shit gives nothing anymore. You need to like it's like win streak only. I haven't tried putting it in later, but like I just know early Crystal is like not very good anymore. She is like kind of like an Akali item holder, and like she flows really well into the line being a protector as well. But that's kind of the only place I think you really want to play her. Because I think like I mean obviously if you just get like a Lucian 2 or a Cinder 2, that's gonna be better. So I think this is like probably C tier. Jin's okay. There's like the Jin comp. He does pair with he pairs with Gnar really well because you can go Gnar, Zac, Aatrox, Mundo, level 5. Fits in a lot of traits. Thing is himself is like he's just not that good, and like Gnar doesn't really want sniper. Like this is something you want to be holding on like 2-3 for your level 5. Not really something you want to be holding on 2-1. So I'm definitely willing to sell the Jin. I'll put him in like bottom of B. Maybe okay, yeah, bottom of B. You could say C tier. Kai'Sa's like a really high prio hold. I think if you ever get a Kai'Sa like drop from orb, same with Cat, you should always put your fruit on her on 2-2 to fish for over 9k. I think it's like that strong on them. And even if your items are like a little suspicious, you can make it work if you have over 9k. So you just fruit it, and then like if you don't hit over 9k and you have bad items, you can just sell it. But you always must check. But if you do have Kai'Sa items as well, like she's like a really, really good comp. So the thing is, I don't think she's S tier because I don't think she's like that good of a tempo opener. So we'll just put her in A. All right, sorry, I meant 1-2. I said 2-2. Yeah.
I think people know what you meant.
Yeah. So Cat's kind of the same. Like you always want to fish for over 9k with her, but she's like terrible as the tempo unit. Like she is fucking worthless. No flame. So I'll put her in like C. Like she like deserves to be in B tier like for like unit quality wise in the early game because she like scales super well off items and stuff you don't have in the early game. But I mean, why isn't she in C? Never mind. Like you just buy her for overnight or she should be in D.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but you'll buy one of them and check for over 9k, and then we will reevaluate.
Poor cat.
Kabuko's like really strong, but you're probably only gonna want to hold them if you're like Aatrox or Zac paired. I put him in like A, I think.
Okay.
But kind of a conditional. Lux is like kind of Lux is pretty bad. You put Lux in D. Like I would only buy her if you specifically okay, maybe we should observe C because the stats actually rate for Soul Fighter as like one of the best stage 2 openers in the game. If you look at like the meta TFT opener stats, the four Soul Fighter is up there with the Mundo Gnar and the Syndra Ezreal for stage 2. Nah, it's D. No one's buying a Lux.
I will say if you roll, so sometimes I check it fruit as well. If I have like an AP opener and you roll efficient, she actually can do a lot of work. If you do have this Soul Fighter.
I've had her work out decently stage 3 with like 3 items, but I think for like an early game prio hold, like she's just not gonna do that much at 1-star, and like 2 gold's kind of expensive.
Okay.
Rakan's like even after nerf, Rakan is like a really good unit. Pairs with like the Kennen, but he pairs with both. He pairs with different openers. He pairs with the Akali Kennen kind of setup, and he also pairs with the Prodigy like Ezreal Garen setup. So I think he's like probably around like the Kennen Garen range for early game holds. Shen, I think if like Xayah was like a little bit better, this would be like a super high priority hold, because I don't think this unit's bad, but doesn't really like, it doesn't even make sense to hold him for like crew, because you just need the 1-star as early as possible, or the 1 cost early as possible, and he doesn't really do that much. Like, you obviously are going to hold him if you have like a 2-star Bastion and no other Bastions, but it doesn't really do that much unless you're playing around like Xayah specifically. So I'll put him in like top of C probably, but like bottom of B, top of C type of range. Vi is basically you only click on her with Mundo, but like bottom of B, but Mundo comes up pretty often. And then Xayah is what you click on if you miss like every other carry, which actually is not that rare. And if you don't have like specifically like the Ezreal Garen 3 Battle Academia, like if all those units are like 1-star trash, but you do have like the Cinder 2 Rel 2, and you want to like go into like a Star Guardian mid game, like the effect it gives is actually pretty decent. So I think it's like bottom of B. Okay. She's not like that terrible. But like ideally you're like playing the other carries instead of her. Xin Zhao, like we talked earlier about how good he was, but the problem is I don't really know what opener to play him in, and I definitely don't think the 1-star is that good. The power of him is like the damage reduction, which is only really noticeable when he has like a lot of base HP, and he doesn't really have a lot of base HP on a 1-star. I think specifically if like Kalissa's better, this would be like a much better priority hold. But like if you're playing around Nephiri, you're probably just wanting like a different soul fighter. So I was glazing this unit. I think I'm about to put it in C tier because he just doesn't really fit into it. Like he's not a bad unit. He doesn't fit into any of the openers. It's the same thing with Shen in the lines. Yeah.
Okay.
Are we doing the 3 costs as well?
Yeah, we usually do 3 costs because it's usually like how.
Yeah, like if you're gonna sell it out of orb. Okay.
Yeah.
So RE1's really good, but like only if you have Rel 2. Because the opener's kind of cracked. Like I guess Kennen 2 is probably acceptable, but if you're playing RE2 Kennen 2, no, I mean I guess you could have you could play that into Akali if you had Akali items. Basically I'm just yapping. It's probably top of B. It's just dependent if you have like Akali or if you have Rel or Kennen 2. Basically, yeah. Like you basically just like she's basically, you can treat her as a Lucian 2 kind of, but she's like a Lucian 1.8. Caitlyn, pretty bad in the early game. If you somehow have like, nah, she's pretty bad in the early game. I think I'm like selling this like 80% of the time. I think if you specifically have like sword tier glove, I perhaps will hold it. I guess if you have no other IE holder, nah, she's probably not D. Like if you have like no other IE holder at all, like probably want to play Caitlyn 2 or Caitlyn 1 over something, like over like a 1-star trash. So maybe bottom of C, maybe not D. Darius is like okay, just because heavyweight's okay, and then like if you have Kaisa, it's good. I think like selling this is just because like a 1-star is just gonna have a bunch of HP because of heavyweight, so it's like probably like B tier. Same with Jace. Like Jace is kind of like the same as Darius. Lulu, I mean like you kind of want to hold the Lulu because like early Lulu, oh shit, we're scaling, but realistically this should be like dependent on the items, and like we don't really think Smolder is that good. And I mean you can play like Rammus, but I also don't think let's just put her in B. Like she's pretty item dependent. Like if you have like a Smolder Sam initially, or you have like an artifact, you can keep her around. But this is like kind of a bait until like the buffer probably. Mouse is actually quite solid. The only thing he like, because he pairs like the Prodigy stuff. The thing annoying with him though is that he can kind of just like lose to these Luchador boards because the Luchador cleanses, and it's just like a super frustrating matchup. Especially if like they have Shadow Clone, you're just wasting so many casts on like some shitters that just cleanse themselves. I don't know. I think it's like an A tier hold because he just pairs well with like all the other AP stuff, but he does pretty frustrating. Nico's like okay because of Syndra, but like not that insane. She's like kind of a bad unit, so probably just B tier. Ram's the same thing. Senna's probably
never held Senna.
Yeah, like you for sure held Senna in like the GP era, but now after like we're not really playing that much mech anymore. And even if you are playing mech, it's probably Lucian GP Aatrox anyways. Like you're playing too many backliners, you're playing the Senna, so probably D tier is deserved. Swain like should be like the highest prio hold in the game because they usually like in theory. I think this will probably be true like in a future patch. Because it's econ trait, and like usually the 3-class AP frontliners are like designed to be overtuned because there's no 4-class AP frontliner. Besides like Jarvan, but like he doesn't have a sword. But right now he's just not like that good, and especially at 1-star, he's not that good because he has like HP scaling. So, and then Crystal early is also like super mid. So I actually think it's like a B tier hold, but like this should be the best hold of the game. And I think it probably will be eventually the set.
Okay.
I think Udyr probably. I don't know if he's like the strongest thing you could ever see out of an orb, but he's basically never going to be bad. I think you're like never going to sell an Udyr ever. He like unlocks like basically every single duelist carry. Because and he like fits with like the Gnar as well. Like it is like an easy yes. You're like almost never gonna sell this guy. And the reason like you're never gonna sell. Okay, I guess we'll go on to Viego. I think Viego is actually super solid in the early game. I mean, I've had 1-star Viego 5-streak me many times. Problem is like you can basically use him as like a Kali item holder. If you have, I don't know, like you can like maybe use him to hold volley items for like a little bit, but like the otherwise like it's like kind of hard to item hold him unless you have like very specific stuff. But I do think he's like really strong. I'll put him in A. He pairs with like obviously the Udyr, but he pairs with the Neferi as well. Yeah. He's probably like the best like soul fighter you can play with Neferi. The reason why Yasuo's like a trash hold because Udyr is so good, and also Yasuo just early game doesn't do anything, so he's like D tier. I think I like always sell this guy. Same with Ziggs. Ziggs is like hopeless in the early game.
All right, boom. Wait, where did Ziggs go?
Like I think there's some situations where you want to hold Senna and like maybe Yasuo because he's like a mentor if you have nothing else to play on level 4. I don't think there's any world where you're holding a Ziggs. I'm serious. Even if you're playing Malphite Janna, like if you're playing no one's playing a Malphite Janna Ziggs opener that should cost 50 gold, and it's worse than like a 2-star 1 cost, and you're like no, you must not.
Nice. So this is our 15.2 openers tier list. What do you guys think? I think that's a great summary. You kind of just machine gun them off one by one.
Bro, they're gonna see GP and A tier and think I'm trolling, but like, if you know the reason why it's there, it makes sense.
No, I agree. I actually have played GP a small amount from time to time, and I mean, if you have the AD items as well, you'd be surprised. He still can just farm some gold every time now and then, which is huge. Okay, so that's an amazing set of information for you guys. We're gonna wrap this up with our final segment. Basically, we always take a couple questions from our Patreon people. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go through it. So here's our first question, which is, how do you go about? This is from Borislav. How do you go about evaluating the strength of different power-ups if you're in unfamiliar territory?
I don't know. I'm too stupid. Like, okay, so like stuff to me like typically sounds good on paper, but then I have to like for me specifically, I kind of just have to like watch a fight with them and see. But like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I guess my actual answer is I have to like evaluate how good it sounds in my mind with how good it looks on the board and like mix that in with other people's opinions. But I think if you're taking the set, like if you're not like that in too deep with like TFT knowledge, I think just copying like whatever other people said is good on units is like a pretty good way to go. Hashtag ad.
Agreed. I think that this set's going to be a set of a lot of discovery. I still think that it's very likely that this patch is not solved, even though everyone. It is.
I mean, no world's patch has been solved, so like, there's no way the third patch of the set is ever solved. Like no.
But I guess what I mean by that is like we probably still have more frontiers of like this power up is really good and unlocks this carry and this composition. It's very likely that by the end of the set, this tier list that we have for TFTAcademy is going to be completely overwhelming. There might be like so many comps of different things that could be unlocked. So yeah, we'll have to figure out how to visually present that if that's the case. Okay, another question from Not James Franco. This one's a little spicy. Who are the most and least reputable Twitter TFT OP comp content creators? Maybe we don't have to go and dunk on people we think are least reputable, but who do you find to be the most reputable TFT comp content creator out there on Twitter?
It's probably the guy that runs Data TFT. Because he's like basically just translating what the CN pros think, and I think it's like pretty interesting to like hear their thoughts on like the meta in that region. And he's like pretty thorough with it.
Yeah. So the Daisy TFT guys are pretty good about that. I'm usually, I mean, I think my favorite one is Brosif. Usually he pulls a trigger when he at least can back up stuff, and he's actually pretty honest with it as well. If he's like on the fence about certain aspects of the comp, but you almost know that he's a sure shot. Like whenever he's like posting something, it's because he's had success, he knows about it, and even if there's gaps in his knowledge, he is like open for that. And he's very unlikely to noob trick you. Plus, he's a good player. So
yeah, like. Okay, I don't really want to go along to bash anyone, but like these people that like post guides like 1 hour after like anything releases, like you know they don't know what they're talking about. Like they're just like it's impossible to know what you're talking about that early on. It just is like no fault to them. They're just trying to get some content out, but it's.
Who is the worst one? You can't skip that. I don't know. Listen, man. We can't. I think it's just poor forward for us as a content website to be trying to shit on other people's content.
No, because I mean, we make plenty of mistakes, and we don't want to really go into like a.
Yeah, because
like
we make. I mean, there's mistakes on the website that I have to go fix right after this.
Yeah, for sure.
We even pointed out we had the wrong Kaiser version on the website. So, okay, well, that's basically the questions that we have for today. Thank you, everyone, for our Patreon to submit questions. There's a handful of others as well, but that's basically it. So we did kind of like a double special because we missed the first episode. Moving forward, we'll probably keep it a little bit shorter as well. But other than that, what's coming up for you, Dishsoap? I guess in a week and a half, we're gonna have the TPC first event.
Yeah, TPC.
Do you want to do the episode before the TPC or afterwards?
I don't care. I'll do it before.
Okay. I mean, we can also do it right after as well. We can talk about the tournament meta as well. So
sure.
We'll play it by ear depending on how things go. But a big thank you to everyone who supports TFTAcademy. If you guys also are watching this either on YouTube, listening on Spotify or audio or whatever podcast platform you are, please consider giving us a 5-star, either liking, subscribing. Just do something to engage so that way we can continue to drive the #1 TFT podcast out there and get it in front of other people for discoverability. And that's basically it. So from Frodan and Dishsoap, this has been TFT Study Hall. Thanks for checking it out, and we'll see you guys next time for more TFT action.
Yeah, see you guys.